here's Brody Brazil.
No matter if you're a fan of the Boston Red Sox or the San Francisco Giants, that trade yesterday, Father's Day, by the way, on Sunday Night Baseball, as soon as they were signing on, they were able to announce that Rafael Devers had been moved from the Red Sox out to the West Coast to now play for the Giants. 4 San Francisco players going to Boston in exchange. It just had some wow factor. It was a blockbuster. It was not something that anybody was expecting. It kind of felt like an old school baseball trade. A 4-for-1 with a bona fide superstar being part of the conversation. Some other really good players going the other way, in this case out to Fenway Park. But yeah, just kind of a magical trade. And I know I'm seeing this probably more from the Giants' perspective than anything because Boston fans are not really happy, a little bit more confused than anything. They understand the trade, but what's the messaging that goes along with it? We'll get into that later in the video, but my point here is just to say, of all days, and the timing, and the situation and circumstance, wow. This was a big one, and almost, you could say, a fun one to talk about. A surprise blockbuster. I'll get into several different topics here. Because of this, like the Red Sox are not having a bad season at all. 1 game over 500, just half a game back as I'm recording this, of a wild card spot in the American League. So this is a team that has a pace, has some direction. Devers started off the season slow. He's since obviously turned things on. This is an interesting situation of why are you messing with the ship while we're going? We're starting to gain some traction, gain some steam here. This totally changes who the Red Sox are. And the Giants on the other side, I mean, they just hit a good stretch. They won a bunch of games, even with a few losses in Los Angeles, still 7-3 in their last 10. They're 10 over 500 right now, and they're holding a second wild card spot. Look, it's going to be really tough. Near impossible to win the NL West with the Dodgers who they are. But the point is the Giants have surged. And now usually it's a team that's struggling, that's in that middle ground. And I know the Giants were having a problem scoring runs. But it's a team, this is what makes it surprising, a team that was doing okay, starting to trend up, and then it's like this move might hit the afterburners, at least with their offense and with their bats. This trade had no long time or credible hints or leaks or speculation. At least as far as I know, this is not something that people were talking about for a while. Certainly Devers and his frustration about the third base situation, that on his side and on the Boston side would make you think, all right, maybe there was some animosity there. I thought they had settled it. I thought they had squashed it. Obviously not. I think that's part of the entire situation here. They wanted to move him away. Less about baseball reasons, more about fit reasons. And yes, he did just recently sign a 10-year contract. But Hicks and Harrison from the Giants, both major league caliber pitchers, both in different situations. Hicks really just unable to stretch it out over long innings, over a long period of time as a starter. Does well in short bursts, is a great reliever, great long reliever. In good situations, high leverage situations. And Kyle Harrison has so much still ahead of him. I don't even think we know what he's going to be capable of eventually. Harrison might be the key piece for the Red Sox in all of this, but there's also James Tibbs, who was the Giants' first-round pick in 2024, and minor league pitcher Jose Bello for San Francisco. So a 4-for-1 deal going from San Francisco to Boston and 1 coming back to the Giants in Devers. A 10-year contract for Rafi. He signed that in 2023, $313.5 million. I want to say there's $2-something left on it. I didn't do the math. Is it $250 or so? But it was the most lucrative contract in Red Sox history when it was signed. And it's actually the most lucrative Giants contract that now moves over. I'll talk about that in a second too. But them signing Devers to that deal was almost a response, like 3 years after the fact, because in February of 2020, when the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts to Los Angeles, when he became a Dodger, and what he's done since then, there was a lot of remorse over that. And so signing Devers to that 10-year deal was supposed to be the signature of, you know what, we might have messed up on not locking down one of our long-term guys, one of our, cornerstone players in Betts. So you know what, we're gonna show that's what we still do here with the Red Sox. They did it. And now they're like, a year and a half into that deal, and they just moved him. And that contract, by the way, I think takes Devers to 36 years old. That is a consideration eventually for the Giants, right? Like, would the Giants have signed anybody to a 10-year, $313 million deal? I don't know. They just traded for somebody in that situation. But 10-year deals are at 26 to get you to 36 are not exactly common. For a player like Devers, he's earned it. His performance is great, especially with the bat. But that's going to be an issue, I think, for the Giants in those later years of that deal. But you get there when you get there, and obviously that means you're kind of hoping for here and now to work. We're in the Buster Posey era. You see what I did there, right? Right? The dollar signs, because Buster Posey used to be the franchise's highest paid player in his final deal, or one of the final deals. And then Willy Adames, this past offseason, he signed his deal, which was then the most lucrative deal in Giants history, which is now being surpassed by Devers in this acquisition. So Buster Posey, all of a sudden, if you say the Giants aren't spending, they're not going for it, I mean, what is this telling you? One by signing, one by trading. And yeah, the 4-for-1 player trade means that the Giants are in a much different financial situation. You add up what those 4 players are making, not even close to Devers and what he's going to make. And the Giants are taking on the entirety of the Devers contract. Sometimes in a trade, like one team will compensate for the trade. They'll take a little bit of the contract. They'll pay for it, and they'll trade the player. In this case, the Red Sox are done with the contract. Giants are taking on the entire contract. It's a statement. Like right now, the Giants are interested in getting better and competing and winning a playoff spot right now. I mean, I know that's what this says. Devers is a known commodity. The Giants are trading for somebody with an obvious track record, 28 years old right now, 7 big league seasons, a left-handed bat that I think is going to play real well in San Francisco, 3-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slugger, 279 career average, 400 career on-base percentage. He's going to hit a lot of doubles. He's going to hit a decent amount of home runs. He's also going to walk a lot. Right now this season, he's one of the leaders in walks in the American League, so a disciplined eye, not just somebody who's going to strike out or home run or get an extra base hit. Somebody who's a very disciplined hitter is going to get on base and be productive. A for sure heart of the order guy. And there's also this, which I wanted to show you, the spray chart of career hits for Rafi Devers. And take note here, I should have used the telestrator. This was a perfect opportunity. All those purple dots in right field, that's Oracle Park, by the way, superimposed under all of his career hits. Look at all of those doubles down the right field line that at Oracle Park are not only home runs, they're probably splash hits. So I'm not saying that all the Devers games in the next 8 years are going to be at Oracle Park, but I am saying in the near future, when he's at home and he's a left-handed bat and he's on the pull side, look how many of those doubles with the short fence, even a high wall, a short fence, are going to be home runs and guarantee you more runs instead of him just standing on second base. That's exciting. You know that the Giants looked at this. You know they did. Among anything and everything else, you know that that was part of their decision-making process. What about the field position that Devers is going to play? He didn't like getting moved away from third base in Boston by Alex Bregman. That was kind of a controversial situation. I mean, it went all the way up to the level of ownership of the team and conversations that were had. And the Giants specifically have the services right now of one Matt Chapman. I know he's on the IL, but he's a gold and platinum glove winner. Dominates the hot corner. Leader of the team. So what's going on there? If Devers didn't like the third base situation in Boston, I mean, it's funny because Bregman and Chapman, as far as my coverage of Chappie in Oakland and when Alex Bregman was part of the Astros, those two were the comps for each other. Two of the great American League third basemen, defensively, chime in with the bat too. So now what? Devers is going from one competent third baseman to being on a team with another competent third baseman. Now, first base is wide open for now in San Francisco, but isn't that where they are honing in the skills of one power hitter, Bryce Eldridge, for the future? Trying to make him a first baseman, trying to convert him into that. So eventually, what happens there? If you're doing this and you're San Francisco to make Rafi Devers like that high paid of a DH, I don't know if that's the most lucrative thing. But I'll also in the same sentence tell you, you're not getting Devers for the glove. You need the bat. You take the glove, you take him as a defensive player, you take him as, and then if the other conversation might be, well, what if Devers really was going to play third? I mean, is it an upgrade to have Devers over Chapman at the hot corner defensively? I won't get into that conversation. Chapman at short? No, because Adames is there. Chapman at second? I'm just spitballing here, right? So maybe there are some puzzle pieces to be moved, but what you really want from Devers is the bat, not the glove, and I hope that none of the field position stuff leaks over into what he could do for the Giants with the bat. And it gets real quick. Because guess what? Boston is in San Francisco at Oracle Park this Friday to play the Giants. Yeah. Imagine the hype around that game. There's going to be a lot going on there. From the Giants' perspective, Devers at $31 million a year contractually ahead of Chapman at 26, Robbie Ray at 25, Jung-Hoo Lee at 17 plus, Adames at $13.1 million. I mean, I just think the sights are set on a postseason here in 2025, no question. You don't make that type of move before the All-Star break. This wasn't a rental late, season type situation. This is a bolstering our team for a long time from within for a majority now of this season. What are we, 70-something games in? The point is, he's going to be a Giant this season more than he was on the Red Sox. And so they're making a push. Devers is on a hot streak. He's been playing well, slow start to this year. You kind of wonder what a clean slate, a new city, the West Coast, some people that I think he likes, Adames and him I think are pretty close. Maybe there's some rejuvenation here. Maybe if you think he was doing well already, let's see where he goes for San Francisco. But I also want to say this from the Giants' perspective, right? People are pretty excited about this. If nothing else for San Francisco, it's going to sell more tickets. It's going to generate more interest. It's going to sell more merch, right? This is not the worst business decision. At the very lowest way to grade all of this, it's not terrible at all for San Francisco, so long as Rafi Devers comes in and does well at the least. Great would be fine for a lot of Giants fans, but well at the least. I'm also realizing that if you're watching this and you're a Red Sox fan, I didn't really talk about the implications of that side of it for your team. I apologize, but I think you're getting some good pitching, getting a future prospect. I also think you've got a lot of questions right now that I would understand. I mean, this is once again a pivot on a move of he's our guy. Actually, he's not our guy. And sometimes it's a personality thing, which I understand, and two puzzle pieces, they just don't fit with each other. Devers, Boston, the way it was going, the way it was turning out, they don't want to ride through 7.5, 8 more years, 8.5 more years of that deal. I get it. So maybe it's as simple as that, but I think if that's all it was, then the Giants have obviously benefited from this trade. Let me know what you think about this move in the comments section below. Thumbs up down there also, too. That'll help me, the video, and the channel. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you back here next time.